Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you. My name is Brother Omar El Rashed, and I am the author, poet, and Peaceful Heart's Guide. For those of you who don't know, I have struggled with bipolar for most of my life, and I struggled so much that I faced the edge of the cliff and almost jumped off, attempting suicide several times. And alhamdulillah, by the grace of Allah, Allah brought me back from the brink, and He doesn't just let me survive, but now I'm thriving and helping other believers to thrive as well. And I wanted to share a personal story that's been going on in my life. So yesterday, alhamdulillah, May 13th, was my daughter's birthday. And what is ordinarily such a happy occasion and such a wonderful occasion actually brought back a lot of sadness for me. So, as you may know, my ex-wife took my children and car and drove off to another state, 15 states away, so I'm not able to easily see my children. And it's actually been very difficult for the last several months. I've not been allowed to see my children. I've not been allowed to visit my children. Even bought plane tickets to visit them and was told at the last minute that I wouldn't be allowed to see them anymore. So, dealing with all of the, that stuff aside, it was a very painful moment for me. And I had not visually seen or talked to my kids in about 2 months at this point. And I really hoped to see them. And actually my birthday is just a week or two before my daughter's. And on my birthday, I wasn't able to see them either, even though that's what I really wished for. Well, as it so happened, I decided to, try to do a video call with my ex to see if I could talk to my children. And I was allowed to, so I was able to see them for a good 5 minutes before they went on to the next thing. And it was kind of disheartening because, of course, kids are kids. They don't like technology. They don't want to be busy on a phone. They would rather be playing and doing something else. But those were the most important 5 minutes for me, and it reminded me of, number one, how far they are from me and how alone I feel, disconnected from my kids. But also how difficult it is to have transitioned just a year or so ago from living with them full time, being caretaker, being a loving father, reading them stories, playing games with them, and now I'm completely disconnected from my kids. It was a very difficult moment. It was bittersweet in the sense that I was so happy to see my kids and to be able to talk to them, but it was so difficult knowing that the dynamic of our lives has fundamentally shifted, and I'm not going to be able to be there with them, at this point at least, the way that I would have wished for and the way I would have dreamed to do. So it was a very bittersweet moment, and it reminded me of all of the sadness that I've experienced in this relationship and with my children. And I'm sharing this video this morning because, as you can see, it's kind of a gloomy, rainy day today, but it's a beautiful day. And I want to share with you that the goal of going through programs and finding peace and serenity is not that pain never comes in your life. It's not that sadness never occurs in our lives anymore. It's just that we're better able to cope, and we're better able to bounce back and experience joy and happiness and fulfillment and trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and connection with life, even amidst the darkness and the difficulty and the sadness. So I did feel a lot of darkness. I did feel a lot of pain yesterday. And it just so happens that I had an iftar scheduled with my older brother and my nieces and nephews. And I reached out and I said, hey, my nieces and nephews would love to wish my daughter a happy birthday. And so we did. And I was able to do that. And it's taking the good with the bad, But it was very painful for me. But at the same time, just as soon as the pain had come, the calming thoughts that says that alhamdulillah, my children are still alive and well, I haven't lost them, alhamdulillah, I'm still connected, and even today on this blessed day I've been able to see my children. So there was a lot to be grateful for. And again, being in a peaceful state of mind, being in a calm situation, having inner peace is not about taking away the pain from our lives, and it's not about removing sadness from ever happening. It's just about giving us tools to experience the sadness and then let it go and return to that happiness that we seek. And I'd like to share that this is not just for the life of us believers, but even for the life of the Prophet, right? Prophet Muhammad ﷺ had many great difficulties that he dealt with in his life. He lost his 2 sons, he lost his beloved wife Khadija, he lost his beloved uncle Abu Talib. There were many losses in the life of the Prophet, not to speak of the countless amounts of torture and, aggression and condescension that the Prophet faced in his life. And even though the year that he lost Khadija and Abu Talib was known as the year of sorrow, the year of grief, eventually he bounced back and he found his inner peace and he connected with Allah and he connected with gratitude, realizing that the life of this world is but a fleeting dream. But we can experience sadness just like the Prophet did. The Prophet mourned. He did not say, there's nothing to cry about. Oh, I don't have anything to feel. I don't feel any sadness. No. The Prophet cried, he mourned, he grieved the loss of his wife and his uncle and his 2 sons. But at the same time, he went back to Allah, trusting in Allah and knowing that the best is with him in the next life. And so I want to share this message that peace and tranquility and having inner peace and contentment in life does not mean that you don't feel sadness, but it does mean that after you feel sadness, you can return to happiness and joy and peace and tranquility and hope for the future. And so if you're feeling that the sadness in your life is not just a 1-day or a 1-hour event, but it's an entire recurring and it never goes away and it never ends and the pain never stops, then this peace and tranquility that I offer and that I try to help people to learn may be of benefit to you. And if you're interested in getting this ability, this inner contentment, this inner peace, feel free to send me a message. I have a resource that may help you. It has a daily practice that may be beneficial for you to live this happiness, joy, and contentment in your life. And the name of the book is The Shukr Challenge, and it has some of the keys that may be helpful for you. If you'd like to begin this process and try to feel and live that happiness in your life, feel free to send me a message and I'll be able to connect you with the resource. So with this, I bid you adieu. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.